Good afternoon. We are in our new session, a part of our interviews with artists, and we welcome Yolanda Antal, a great artist coming from Eilat,
Right.
and showing a lot in Italy.
Yeah.
Right now. She came from Bologna, and Yolanda is a sculptor and also a painter.
Right.
And actually, she has few combinations with the topic of skin. Actually,
Of course.
we started with a kind of a interpretation to her sculptures, but recently she came up with a new idea,
Yeah.
a kind of performance.
Performance and connection between science and art.
Okay, so the board is yours.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I am, as Doron said, sculptor and painter. So I chose these subjects to show the combination between our brain and the sense of touch. And I myself studied in Italy, in Bologna, in the Art Academy, and then in the University in Jerusalem. So let's see. I will speak about the somatosensory system, and then we'll make some performance. Somatosensory system is responsible for the information that passes through the senses of touch in the skin to our cortex brain, the cortex in the brain. Let's know this little guy, which is called homunculus, which means in Latin, little man, and he is actually, it's 3D representation. And it shows the location of the body's organs in the cerebral cortex as neural information processing, and there are two homunculus. So he had big mouth, as you can see, a big tongue, huge hands, and why is that? And little body, why is that? Because the hands and the tongue and the mouth and the face are much more sensitive to the touch and to the sense of touch than the other organs. So that's why he represented this way. It's easy to remember him. We have two homunculus. Let's go. Yeah. Wow, we have to see the side, how it's represented there. That's the cortex of the brain. And it's a little bit hidden, but you can see that the mouth and the face and the tongue are very big, represented. This is the way it's represented on the cortex of the brain. This is the places that it takes. So the mouth and the face, as I said, it's more sensitive, so it takes much more place in the brain. Although in reality, we have normal proportions, but it's the sense, it's description of the sense. Sensory homunculus. Let's see more. Let's go. No, before that one.
One before.
Yeah, this is the somatomotor homunculus. We have two. This one is responsible for the muscles and the motoric sense of the body. Let's go. Okay, this is a cut in the skin. We can see here the epidermis, which is the upper layer, then the subepidermis, the second layer, and the third one is dermis, okay? And we can see the little, in different places, you can see the little different nerve bodies. These are actually the bodies that transmit the sense to the nerves and then to the brain. This is the way it goes to the brain. And each one of these bodies that are called, some of them Meissner and so on, this names invented in the 19th century already. And they are actually responsible for the sense of touch, which is pressure, heat. Each one of them has another role. So together they go to the nerve fibers, and then they are going to the axon and then to the brain. Next. Here we can see the spinal cord with the brain up, and the corpulus, these little cells that you see there, that how they are united on the skin, how they are united together, going inside with the axon, with the nerve, to the brain and to the cortex of the brain, to respond to the same area that they are representing on the skin. Let's go. Here is the amount of the place that it takes in the brain. And it depends not on the size of the skin, but it depends on these cells, little cells, and the density of these cells on a certain place. If there are more cells of touch in a certain place, then it will take in the cortex of the brain more place. Like again, as I said, the mouth and the nose and the hands and the tip of the hands also. Next. This guy is Professor Amir Ahmadi, is from Israel, is very known in the world, is a scientist who teach the blind to see through music and the deaf to sense, to hear, and through different programs that he's doing. And he developed the musical eye system, which is very famous now, and he teaches the blinds to see even pictures through a 1,500 pixels image per second of music. It's kind of an algorithm that he teaches the blinds, and they can see images of 1,500 pixels with the sense of with the ears. Yeah, next.
The dolphins.
And the dolphins, yeah. This is an amazing story about Helen Keller, which was deaf, blind, and mute, and her teacher, Anne Sullivan. I will make it very short, although it's a fantastic story. Helen Keller was born as a normal child. Till the age of 1.5, she was normal. Then she got some bacteria, and she became blind, deaf, and of course also mute. Till the age of 7, she was wild like animal. Her parents were very rich and aristocrats, so they could afford treatment for her. They took a teacher of 21 years, Anne Sullivan, which came to the house. She came from a very poor family, and for her it was a risk of life to stay with Helen. She was also, what happens actually, she was also blind from the year of 5. She was healthy until 5, then she was blind till the age of 20, from 5 to 20. And she learned in schools of blind and deaf, so she learned all the languages, and she could teach Helen. What happened actually, that in the beginning she didn't succeed, but one day Helen jumped over some water in the garden, and it was broken, and then she was all wet, and instead of taking her out, Anne Sullivan, she touched her hands and spelled the words in her hand. Till that time, she didn't understand the spelling, but in one moment, she understood everything. And then after that, in 6 months, she learned everything, all the languages. Helen Keller herself was a teacher. She learned even to talk by the spirit of the nose and and all the languages. She was a writer, and she was amazing woman that she knew to speak and everything. This is amazing thing, and it was in 1890, so it's amazing actually.
Sound amazing.
Yeah. So now we will go to make a performance. In this performance, I would like actually to show experiment, and let's see if it's how you will feel when I'll make you some forms and letters on your body, and we'll see if you feel it without seeing it and without seeing, without hearing, you know.
I donate my body to the science and for the good
Great.
of art
Great,
as well.
great.
I'm with you.
Wonderful. I will make a massage with clay on your body, on your, yeah, it's very, very nice and smooth, so it will be very, very pleasant. And we will try to do it on your back and also on your hands, the palms of your hands, and on your face, and we'll see the results. Okay, let's try to start it. Okay, so I don't have time to make you a real.
It was like one.
One? Yes, right. You're right. Yeah. Another number.
8.
Yes, right. You see how we feel without feeling and seeing. You know, I was teaching my grandchildren, they didn't want to learn when they were 3 years, 4 years, they didn't want to learn. It was not interesting for them. But once I did this method of feeling on the skin, they loved it and they learned all the letters and all the numbers, everything. Now I'll do letters in English, okay?
Okay. Is it a boat?
Almost. I'll do it again.
It looks like a home. Or
A
something.
house, yes, exactly, a house, exactly a house.
Okay.
This is already more complicated. Okay, now I would like you to get up
Okay.
and we will make experiment on the palms of your hands. Who can help me to tie his eyes? I will do numbers, okay?
2.
Yeah, you felt it more quickly, right?
Right.
Right, wonderful, because
So
the palms are more sensitive, although I made it smaller. If it's on the back, if I would do smaller, it will be very difficult to guess. But on palms of the hand, you will feel it even smaller. Let's see. Let's do now. I will cancel this. I'll make it on the same hand. Okay. I will do now another number.
10.
Exactly. Wonderful. Okay. I will do a series of 3 numbers. Okay.
Wow. It was good.
Again.
It's 3 numbers.
Yeah, 3 numbers.
Oh.
The first one.
3.
Yeah, the second.
1.
And the last.
2.
No.
3, 1. Make it again. 8.
Yes.
3, 1, 8. Right.
So it is
318.
great. Okay. Wonderful. Now I'm moving to your face. Okay. Let's see on the face how you will feel. I will make you dirty, but I can assure you that I will clean your face.
Go for it.
Turn your head like this. Yeah, exactly. Good. Okay. All right. So I'll do a painting now on your
Okay.
face, okay?
We are with the sun again.
Not the sun, it's difficult. I did something difficult. This is the bottom. And this,
It's a human being.
no,
No?
no. It's a tree, but it's
It was a tree.
Yeah,
because it was like,
yeah.
no, because I felt like
Yeah.
legs and hands,
Yeah,
and then like a head, because it was, but
Yeah.
it could be a tree.
yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
Let's see if we succeed again. And let's do letters, okay?
Okay.
English letters.
It's L.
No, it's rounded.
I see.
A C?
C.
Yes, you're
Okay.
So we'll do the last one, okay?
Okay.
Or you want to?
You can continue. Make a poetry. I don't care.
Okay, let's do something like that.
Was it a letter?
No, not a letter.
It's very smooth, this one.
Yes, you did it.
Yeah, it's like almost like a chain or something like
It's a circle.
a circle. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do another. It will be at the end something complete, okay? It's a continuation. Again.
This was like a circle again.
Yes, again. Two circles.
Okay. Bicycle.
Exactly, a bicycle.
Okay.
So you guessed before.
Great.
So thank you very much. I
Thank
hope
you.
it was useful and pleasant, of course.
Now we move to UK and Naseem Darbey. Hi Naseem, how are you?
Hello, hello.
Hello. Good.
So this is called Puka 2, and it's a piece of work that I bring from a body of work I did a short while back in 2019 called We Are Saved by Loss. And these pieces, which are made from tissue silk, and they're augmented with lights and LEDs, and they're based on pathology from the Gordon Museum of Pathology in King's College London. And this body of work is really all about our connection to the stars. It's all about that we are stardust and how we all go through very similar experiences. And I don't know whether you can see the correlation, but I always thought they looked a little bit like nebulas, like little floating star systems, as well as things that could be inside the body. So the idea of the colour changing lights is that I had breast cancer in 2011. And the first thing that I noticed was a transformation of my skin. The first thing that I noticed was a pucker, hence the name pucker. And that was the first thing that alerted me that something was wrong in my body. Obviously, I had lots of treatment and I'm still here today. But it's this idea that the body is in a constant process of change and renewal. So these pieces go through a really steady kind of very subtle change, if you like, a very subtle process of lights. I'll show you some other images in a second of them in different stages. But it is about the kind of beautifulness of the textiles and making those correlations, if you like, to the textiles of the body. When I was working at the Gordon Museum of Pathology, which I thought would be quite scary because I was looking inside the body and I was looking at cancer and I was looking at the cells and things. I thought that I would find it quite scary, but I realized just how beautiful our tissue is, also obviously our skin, the surface, how everything changes. So this was a kind of calm colorway, if you like, a calm dance of lights. And then if I just hang on, I'm just going to try and swap images, bear with me. And then this was, hang on, bear with me 1 minute. this is the image when it starts to go through almost kind of like a crisis red. So it's kind of talking about the fact of something going wrong within the tissue, within the cells, within the surface. I'm hoping that I convey that. And it's also about kind of really highlighting those different puckers, like really looking at the kind of the bubbly surface and again the surface tensions. Because I work with embroidery a lot as well. I don't know if you can see within the image, I work quite densely into areas. Again, very much like the tissue that I was looking at in the specimen jars at the Gordon Museum, about the layering and working with those colours. Obviously, I've heightened the colours, like the body doesn't quite produce anything quite this bright. But again, it's that link to the cosmos. And I think the idea that everybody goes through quite similar processes within our body. It might not be cancer, but obviously we all go through a system of change throughout our lives, whether it's aging or, whatever processes that we might do. So another image, if I stop sharing, bear with me 1 second, is, this was in the gallery itself. Apologies. And I don't know if you can see, it's just like another angle because I wanted to show the sculptures as they're working and you can go around them 360 degrees. They're not huge. They're about 70 centimeters by 120 centimeters, but it allows you to really look at them and study them closely. I've exhibited them on quite low plinths so that you could really get in and look and see those like differences within the flesh. What I really loved about the Gordon Museum of Pathology when I was there was just how you study everything, how you look at these beautiful specimens and you really look and you study them. And then they're very precious. They look very precious, these little items from within inside our body. So that was all about Pucker, that piece of work. I could share more. I don't know if there's time. Should I continue?
No, but please tell us a bit about your future plan. Do you plan to go on with that series? What are you doing now? Are you still doing some works regarding the skin?
I think it's been really interesting doing this project because I think as I've joined these round tables, I've really started to think, because obviously this body of work was done in 2019 and I'd moved on from this because I'm scaling up my work. So the idea is that because I work on the sewing machine and I work with textiles, I'm kind of restricted to the size that I can work with. So what I've started to do in my work is to look at ways to kind of become much bigger in my sculpture. And it's a process that I'm still working on. But it's been very interesting taking part of this process because I think it's made me start to think about particularly skin, because this body of work was really about what was beneath the skin and underneath the surface. But I think particularly because you've had such interesting themes around skin and you've definitely kind of looked at different, like today's like wearable and senses and things like that. I think it's made me view it through a different lens, which sounds quite scientific actually, doesn't it? But I think it's made me start thinking about, should I go back to these materials? Should I look at how I can, again, play with these surfaces? The tissue silk is incredibly beautiful and it feels like tissue, like it's got like a kind of really almost quite parchment quality. I'll show you one more image because I'll show you a kind of with the lights off, if you like, because it'll show you the textile piece. Hang on a minute. So this is a very behind the scenes look at this body of work, which I don't always share. But because the pieces had to have all of the LEDs and the lights put inside, there's a lot of tech that there's a lot of computers because they have to be programmed and obviously they have to be safe. And I don't know if you can see the little pieces that go on top, because it's in about 3 or 4 sections and then the lights are put inside. So I don't know if you can see the tissue silk. So it's very, it's quite cream really, but and I don't know whether you can see, but it's very delicate. It's very tissuey. And again, until I'd come onto your project and really thought about it, I've not considered how tissuey that looks. I know that might sound strange because it was all about the body, but it has made me think about where I might take this and the directions. And who knows, maybe in a short amount of time, I might be able to think about things that, again, employ this idea of senses within the skin and watching your kind of experiments that you were just doing. Are there things that we can explore through programming that really kind of play with that idea of touch. You know, like if you touch something, will it set off a load of computerized things and ideas? And again, I think, and this is true of all my work, everything that I produce is always kind of in transition. So this is a moment. We Are Saved by Loss is like a moment in time, and then as we go along, there's always something else developing and something else moving. And I think as an artist, I think that's really important. I don't think anything's static. And like the body of work, it's about the whole universe. And as people, we're in complete constant transition. I think that this will probably bring about new things.
Well, that's great. You know, looking at that picture, it feels like we are indeed, all of us, in an art laboratory. And I'm sure that you are now on the verge of a breakthrough. I don't know if it will be related to skin or not, but this is absolutely fascinating.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing with us the process. It's not obvious that you share. Thank you very much. Well, this was a beautiful presentation. Thank you. Thank you very much. Sunset has begun. Rain has stopped in the morning. Everything is almost calm. And Tamar, please, let's start your presentation.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tamar, and today I'm going to share the process of creating a visual language, or better yet, a sensorial language that enables people to express what is not expressible. Next. Okay. This is the Ouroboros. It's a symbol of the snake eating its own tail. I am inspired by this sign. You can always find it in ancient maps, on the edge of the maps, and it denotes the edge of everything, the unknown. I say that today the unknown is between disciplines. And I find myself again and again in that position, thinking about what are the intersections between things. Next. And just to put us in a perspective, let's think for a minute of how does it feel to be a bat? To think and conceive I don't know about thinking, but conceive the world through the very special mean of sensing that the bat has, because a bat perceives the world through echoes, through sound. How does perceiving the world through sound feel? Can we even imagine that? I'm sure we can imagine how it feels to eat flies, but how does it feel to be able to perceive reality through echoes? We cannot perceive that, right? Next. That's a little experiment. Everyone who is visually clever, don't say, but do you know what is shown here? Can you guess? Okay, go next very quickly, and then next again. Oops, and again next. So now you see it. You didn't see it before, you see it now, which means that the way we perceive reality is pre-fabricated by our knowledge of the world. Next. This is something I recently realized, and I find it strange. It's common to conceive of the brain as an organ designed to react to stimuli from the outside world, right? This is what we all think. We have our hearing, we have our taste, we have our basic senses, and this is how we perceive the world. Well, wrong, or some say it's wrong. Can you go to the next slide, please? There are recent researchers that claim that the brain evolved to regulate the body so that it could move around the world efficiently. So the way we perceive the world is to enable us to be efficient, and it's not to rationalize, and it's not to perceive things accurately. It's not even to see, hear, or feel. It is designed to regulate our body, which means that things that happen to us and the way we perceive the world is designed for regulation, not for anything else. Next. And you remember the snake just a minute ago. Our brain predicts meaning based on prior experience. And it guides the body by integrating scraps of sensory input with memories of similar experience from the past, which means that the reality of any one of us is different because our experiences are different, right? Next. So I would ask, how do we perceive the world? Do we perceive it as any of these images? Next. Now let's think about something else. If you had a flower, which you don't, but imagine that you do you think you could express the exact hue, the exact sense, the exact texture of a flower, or even just touch your chair or touch something and see if you can express in words the sensation you are feeling? This is essential, because for me, just the feeling of something that is inexpressible, in English you would say ineffable, something that you cannot say, is mentally and spiritually, and just thinking about it, it's like we reach an edge. I talked about the Ouroboros before. This is the edge. This is something that is beyond our mean of expression. How does something feel? How does something, do you share my experience of that loss of words? Probably. Okay. So next. So the subject of this lecture is the ineffable, the things that we cannot say. Next. And that led me to a quest of creating a visual language that will help us express what we cannot express. And today, in the performance that we're going to have in a little while, this will be what we are going to test. We are going to test whether it is indeed possible to try and start to express those things that are inexpressible. And okay, just can you go back a bit? Thank you. And the question I asked myself was how to create that language, and whether encoding of perceptual experience in language, is it based on culture, or is it the way our mind is wired? Is it something that just, you know, some of the cultures cannot do, or is it something that is the way that we are wired? Next. And again, it depends who you ask. If you ask cognitive scientists, or if you ask other scientists. So the work of Asifa Majid is one of my inspirations, and she has done many researches Next. She has done many researches, and in these research, she claims that the inability to express sensorial experiences are just the way the Western culture is fabricated, and you can find other cultures where it is very easy or much easier than our culture. For example, in one of the research that she conducted, she invited many other researchers to work on that, and one of them has told a story. And in that story, it's a story about a village in Zulu, in Ghana, where they speak Zulu. And in that village, there are people just sitting around. Someone comes with a cart of vegetables, and they start to discuss about those vegetables, start to express what is for us inexpressible. And one of them would say, "Igbedi sini 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 sini," which means the cassava is smooth. One would say, "Pease," and I can't say it. "Avocado is beautifully oblong." And another one was very worried that if the banana is not ripe, it will feel sticky inside their mouths. So they had a word for it, and they would say, "Kanya Emma Titiliti." Next. These are ideophones. Ideophones are sound paintings. These are these are grammarly weird constructs of languages that are not the Western languages. You see that they double the vowels. They would say sini, 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 sini. They play with it. And for people who speak those languages, they can actually feel that feelings, just hearing those sounds. We don't have it, we might not understand it, but they do. Next. Korean has it. For example, think about marshmallow. Malang malang is the sound of squishiness. Pazak pazak is the sound of crispiness. And you can find it on stuff you can buy in stores in those countries. So suddenly, there's something in the world that we don't know that help these cultures express things that we cannot. Next. For me, it was an inspiration. I said, okay, let's see if I can use these ideophones to create a visual language for sense or for sensorial expressions. Next. And I fabricated those three questions in order to create that language. And I asked myself, can we map sensorial experience systematically? Is there a unified way to express all types of sensorial impressions? And what could serve as a non-arbitrary sign? These questions relate to information visualization. Information visualization is the type of design which I do that takes information and creates very elaborate systems that help people understand things intuitively. So you work very hard, but at the end, it gets very simple. Next. And for the first question, can we map sensorial impressions systematically? When I read articles relating to sensorial impressions, I found again and again that they are using these matrices, the X and the Y. And they, for example, this experience is designed to see what are the emotional impressions of certain smells. And you can see that many people thought clementine smell makes you happy. You can argue that, I know, but this is the results. And others would say that clementine is very stimulating. Vanilla makes you happy and relaxed. Now, if you look at the matrices, you see that the clementine is up and the vanilla is down. So suddenly, for us, clementine makes you happy, vanilla makes you happy. It's the same, but it's not the same at all, because clementine makes you happy and energized. So you are up in that matrix. But vanilla makes you happy and calm. So suddenly we can start speaking about different aspects that we couldn't just a minute ago. Because now we know that the experience, the good experience of smell can differ. Is it energizing or is it calming? Once we say that it aligns with our experience of the world, yes, of course, clementine is energizing and vanilla is calming. Next. You find it again and again in other research, for example, mapping response to sound. Next. Or modeling emotions. So I said to myself, good enough for me. Next. And I said, I will use this axis to map and create the visual language. And yes, we can map sensorial impressions in a systematical way. Good. Now, next question. And if you look at the iPhones, that you can say that you can see that they are mapped very well. So the malang is something smooth and nice and calm, and the crispiness is something vibrating and uplifting. And when you feel bad, the doki, the sound of your heart pounding, which is an iPhone that relates to feeling stress, is bad but energizing. And the stickiness of the banana is bad, but is not energizing. So it makes sense. Suddenly we can have this matrix and map our sensorial impressions over it. Next. And the other question is there a unified way to express all types of sensorial impressions? Next. And yes, and that is energy. Hearing is mechanical energy. Taste is chemical energy. Touch is electronical energy. And vision is photonic energy. So suddenly we can think about all these things as waves of energy. Next. And another experience, and that's the last one, I guess. This is an experience from the 14th century. And now, please let me know which shape you think is Kiki, and which is Buba. Is the left one Kiki? Kiki is the star. Who thinks Kiki is the star?
Star is Kiki.
Yeah. Anybody else thinks differently? No? Yeah, you do? Yes. So you are very special. My husband also thinks that, but usually people think that the star is the Kiki. Everybody. And okay.
Now, because I did, now I rationalize as a Cuba, probably the association with the Cuba, with the passion.
Oh,
So it's wrong. And I thought that is, this one is different.
there are many explanations, but what is important to us is that most people think the same. So this is good enough for me. Kiki is the pretty one, and Buba is the shapy one. Next.
And they're both beautiful.
Yeah, they are. It's not about beauty.
Yeah.
So, what is the Kiki Buba sensorial communication? Next. You remember the axis.
Yeah.
And Up above is high intensity, low is low intensity, and the right side is the positive feeling, not about beauty. It's very interesting that you said beauty, because we're not thinking about vision. We're thinking about other senses. Vision is very easy for us to think about beauty, but what is beauty when you touch, or when you hear, or when you smell? And it's very, we need to define that. So on the right, there are waves, on the left, there are zigzags, and in the center, there's something that we don't know. Might be this, might be that. And this is the sensorial communication that can be used to express. We can start trying to use that to express sensorial feelings. And okay, next. And I didn't say it before, but we have, it depends who says that. There are many ways to map the senses. And some would say 5, some would say 20. What I do want to show you is that apart from the basic 5 senses that we all know, there are interoceptive senses. There are sensors in the stomach. There are sensors all over the place that give information relating to how we feel, how the body feels. So when I say that communication system, I want us to listen to our body. I started doing that, and it is very surprising to see where is that sensorial impression taking place. Is it taking place? If I'm sad, do I really feel it in my heart? So this, or if probably yes. If I'm angry, where do I feel it in my body? Okay, probably. So I'm saying that I propose a sensorial communication language that does 2 things. Tells us where you feel it in your body and how you feel it. Is it kiki or is it ruba? Is it kiki 1, 2, 3? Okay? That is the communication method. Now, for this exhibition, what I created is a sensorial suit that alters the way you perceive your body, the way you perceive the body itself for those hidden senses, and the way you watch, the way you see. And what we are going to do now is to take the suit outside, to wear it, and to experience it. Yes. Your breath, how do you feel? Having breath suddenly? Yeah?
What's happening?
This?
I have to raise my hand.
I will give you a hand so you don't fall away. Okay. This flag is using the Kiki-Buba language, okay? So this side means he feels bad, and this side means he feels okay. And you will go on, you will share, and I will signal what the Ron feels.
You know that in order to see, I have to raise my hand.
Yes. Maybe you don't want to. Okay, so try to say for the Kiki Buba communication, do you feel okay?
Not sure.
Okay, he's not sure. And do you feel something? Do you feel stressed somewhere?
I feel stressed because I don't see I'm unbalanced a little bit.
Okay, so but I keep you safe. So try to think. Go to your left. What do you see? Can you express what you see?
I see now the path. I see the road.
Yeah.
It's a kind of moving road.
Oh.
It's shaky. So I feel a little bit unbalanced and scared.
Can you think about the back?
The what?
The back. The back. So do you think now the suit and the spectacles change the way?
Yeah, they close my body. My body right now is good. I feel that it's bringing me. I'm more safe with my body.
Oh.
My breast.
Oh.
They keep me balanced more.
That is amazing. So what you're saying is that the suit is balancing your stress from, I'm holding.
Yeah.
The suit is balancing your stress.
The suit is very convenient to me, and I feel it very good on my body. I feel that I control all the path. I'm wild. My body now is wiser.
Yes. So you feel that the presence is more.
Okay.
The eyes.
The eyes are a little bit confused. I'm a bit confused. It's unclear a little bit.
Okay. Stop.
Stop. Shall I stop now?
Yeah.
Stop. I'm muscular and feminine, same. Yeah. I feel like touching myself, analyzing new body. So it's much clearer. Enjoy it. Most muscular and feminine are the same. It's right on my back.
I nearly fell now when you see that.
It's right on my back. I feel like I would like to feed everyone around. Like I want to milk other people with my breast. I'm not hesitating. Just feel like offering other people to get milk from me. Give other people. Like to take something for the people. Almost nipple for everybody.
Now we are going to wear that.
That's a good idea. Great. I really enjoyed it.
Have to take off the cloth? No.
Paulina, come. There's no doubt that it's a new language. Tamar.
Yes.
Yeah.
What?
It's a new phenomenon. No doubt about it.
And I will bring the glasses. Okay. And just the finance. And just a second, I'll bring the glasses.
After the baby, it's more, it's very. Joy.
Okay. You ready? Yes. And of course, I'll keep you safe. Safe for you? Yeah. So immediately see that for women, it looks different. You look different. You look like a flower. Now, how do you feel? Do you feel positive or negative? Yeah. Positive. Give me your hand and turn around. And we will go. Can you explain?
Perhaps because there is a little window that I can see.
Okay.
You do see your way. Somehow.
You guess your way.
No, I can see you can turn
Okay. There are on the desk, I hide a little cushion like this. If you find it, you can have it. It's a present.
Good question.
Yeah.
From behind or?
Like this?
Yeah.
But small. You remember that I created it.
Yeah.
So I give you.
I have to look up.
Yeah, you have to look up.
It's not in this area. It's further up.
Just go further. I think it's here. Yes, I see. I see it now because I don't wear the goggle.
Okay.
See if you can find it.
Okay. Little one?
Yeah.
Very little?
Very little. Maybe
There is a white? Yeah, it's here. It's in between the holes.
No.
It's not there.
No. Go ahead. Go straight ahead.
Okay.
I see it now. Do you see it?
It's inside the snake light.
Yes. Can you reach to it? Can you get it? I keep it safe. I hold your hand. Try to get it with your left. There you go. This is your present. You need my hand? Okay. So you feel good?
Yes.
So I say, women rule. Go ahead.
Because what happened is with that glasses, you see, in a different, the roof is almost on top of the eye.
Multi-bracelet. The multi-bracelet.
Going up is really difficult. It's like my climbing on a high stair.
And
I am on the ladder.
Oh, very good.
Oops.
Okay. And that is a wrap.